Giata, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion.
Did you hear that, Ignacy? You should be taking notes.
Ah, of course. The Adiran envoy. Ambassador Hilgard sent a missive telling me to expect you. How delightful. You speak with a measure of authority, but I caution you to remember who's in charge around here.
Now that's what I call a first impression. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did.
They do. And that's the kind of reckless behavior I'm trying to avoid.
Reckless is all we have time for. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Giata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. You don't appreciate just how dangerous that could be. Are you going to tell her about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giata is an outcast. Perhaps. But I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west, by the workshop.
I'll find us another bedroom.
By tradition, the governor's manor is open to the public.
I'm sorry you had to witness that spectacle. Giatta is a spirited animancer, but she can be intolerable at times. Whatever you may think of us, I welcome you to Fior Messiverno. I believe the nature of the living lands is unpredictable, and animancy is our best chance at getting it under control. But what Giatta wishes to do is more dangerous by far than what she's trying to solve. Quilici wants us panicking over what he can't even prove. If there's a threat to Emerald Stair, it's that old man and his fear-mongering. Don't waste your time on him. Be my guest. Take her away from here. As far as I'm concerned, she's your responsibility.
This Nimdude wouldn't see a Balrog coming if it did a little dance right in front of him.
If there's nothing more, I have a city to run.
got a powerful feeling we weren't supposed to see this.
If you'll excuse me, my time is precious. I knew I heard someone snooping about. And you have the gall to confront me like a common criminal. This conversation is over. That is not a topic for discussion. I'll hear no more of this. You go about your business, and I'll go about mine.
We should let this one go.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amica. Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop. Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe as of late. Is that Gelarde? This is star metal. Very rare stuff. Where did you get this? Nay, don't tell me. I'd be tempted to go looking for some more, and that would certainly not end well. Star metal is exceptionally dense. It weighs much more than one would think from its size. More fascinating, however, is that this metal is suffused with dormant essence. This makes it naturally susceptible to enchantment. No. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work the metal into anything useful. Only enchant it. I did receive a shipment from Solace Keep recently, however. A mace crafted out of star metal, brought to me by a trader from Galloway's Tusks. I suggest you make your way there if you're looking for someone to work that beautiful metal into a proper weapon.
Galloway's Tusks? Come on, it can't be that complicated. I bet you 5 skates a Smith and Thirdborn would know what to do with this stuff. And I'll take your money eventually.
Is there anything else I can help you with, amica? Nay, not really. But not all of us in Fjord are animancers, you know. Besides humble craftsmen such as myself, we have the Rangers to outfit. Under normal circumstances, I'd not sell to a traveler like yourself. But as I'm sure you've seen, these are not normal circumstances. Care to see what I have? Officially no, but I have been known to dabble with essence infusion here and there. I have one such item for sale, actually. A beautiful mace made of star metal, crafted by the finest smiths of Solace Keep and enchanted by yours truly. It is a wonder to behold. Care to see? Malvado! Welcome to my fine establishment, amica.
Founded machine. Excuse me, but I'm that busy.
The other is healthy. It's the essence I'm concerned about.
This again. You're beginning to sound like Giata.
Have you ever stopped and listened to her? She might be onto something.
I'm sure her mother and father were onto something, and look what happened to them.
I have to do something. I can't let anyone else discover this. Envoy, I'm sorry. I'm not in a place to talk right now. I'm not concerned with that. Not now. Yesterday, I made an incredible discovery. We can use half as much Adra to achieve the same results. And then I thought, what if one day it's a third, a quarter, a speck? No. To harness these forces for so small a price is too much power. Who knows what kind of chaos we'll create? I have been reading Athelmir's treatise on Vodka. Perhaps she's right. Maybe Animancy should be reined in. I assumed I was speaking to a colleague. I see I was wrong. But I should double-check my work. There's a chance my research could be flawed. I never forgive myself. I'll run more tests and see where things go. I hope I'm right. I shudder to think what will happen if I'm not.
Excuse me, but I'm that busy.
What do you think of Giata's theory?
Well, my experiments have been a little...
unpredictable? Like, the essence has no sense of direction.
How did you know?
We should talk, but not here.
Isaksabu! That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
Why start now?
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. What does he know? He isn't even an animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Messiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone.
I wish I could take credit for Giata's stubbornness, but she learned that on her own.
Thanks, old man. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. A good question with a good answer. For now, I shouldn't bother you with the details. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Wouldn't that be a coincidence? I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... No, sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave your Messiverno. Forever.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be alright. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Glad to hear it. Your education should come in handy. Monto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
Patience. We'll speak shortly.
Did you hear that Giata was sent into exile?
Wonder if she needs a new research partner.
Or maybe... Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. The endangered godlike's vacant gaze betrays an unquenchable thirst for violence. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
Gossip is an important part of scholarly research. It's the only way to stay ahead of the competition.
Giata must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giata needs to finish her research. Deal?
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go round the wheel, you might not get so lucky.
Who wouldn't? My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? Weren't you?
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Oh, didn't anyone tell you? Well, this is awkward. Shame you had to learn it from us. Do you have an answer or not? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giata wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The Dream Scourge is proof that an unprecedented metaphysical disaster can take place at any time.
Oh, that's a load off my mind. Sure beats not constantly worrying about the future.
How's that good news?
Giata will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Precisely. A godlike and a scholar, too. Incredible.
Indeed. Just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge.
Not that we'd ever be interested in such research, of course. How droll. An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh sake, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell.
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have dozed off there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed?
Emerald Stair has seen better days. With any luck, the turning of the seasons will favor us. Giata Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor! I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? That's our governor for you. Self-righteous even in his own ignorance. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Silvo is one of my Revenants, my oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put the poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a Revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come. You did? That was quick. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young Revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. Quite right. A broken clock is right twice a day, after all. Adra is a conduit for essence, so maybe you'll find a connection between the essence and the Dream Scourge. Like the rings of a tree. A very old Adra pillar could remember its last brush with the Dream Scourge. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giat are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock.
Oh, and thank you for the nightmare. I really have been sleeping entirely too well lately.
I'm remembering why people find this place unsettling.
The Adra stirs, a crackle of light in a withered field. We had not considered this. Mundane, a lifetime lived in silence. We forget this. We wilt, we gnaw with hunger now. What has come of this place? A hand of generosity, or a gauntlet of steel? We feel them. They bend and hone the essence of the earth. They draw from our veins like a well. What are these rituals? Eons have passed. We do not recognize these strange machines. A harvest grows, the dead rise. What do they hope to achieve? Set what has been broken, soothe the pain. They build walls in their hearts. Why do they not share what they make? Adir sleeps across the sea. We are not troubled by the loss of kith. What do you say? A bitter tincture heals. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. We have learned much. Dream of soaring wings in your repose.
Did that tree just move? Did you hear that?
Careful where you step. Might be a twig, might be a snake.
Cuidado! Welcome to my fine
Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Ha! A novel idea, that. What I need is a stronger power source. Grimoires can hold intense power, but not for long. Besides, grimoires require a wizard to draw in essence. It's too dangerous at this scale. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
If you can convince her to hand it over, I'll be more than impressed.